Hello, everyone. This is Derek, and we're here at Monza. Don't kill me, turn one, please. Please. We're in the BMW GTE today. One of my favorite cars in iRacing, but it's also one of my only ones that I own, so that's why it's probably my favorite. We've done a lot of racing with BMW up to this point, but this will be my first video that I'll be posting while I'm in it. Been playing iRacing for probably 6 months now, I think, give or take. Did a little bit of IMSA before this. This, I don't think I've mentioned yet, is IMSA Season 20, Week 2. The first week was Interlagos. I don't own Interlagos, so this is going to be the first race of the season here. I really like the GTE class in iRacing. I've done in a couple other games, Assetto Corsa and R Factor. They handle quite a bit differently in this game. I don't know what's more realistic. I know R Factor 2 just did an update recently. I haven't had a chance to go back and try that yet. Done a little GTE. They're actually harder to control, I feel. I think it's just the way my brakes are set up on my rig. But anyways, back to this. I play in VR, so it doesn't translate to streaming or recording in real time. So what we're looking at here is a replay, and I'm commentating over said replay. Top left-hand corner, we have the relative that doesn't show positions. Sadly, in replays, they don't show positions very well, so I'm just going to have to tell you what position I'm in. I may try to get an overlay. If I don't, well, then you guys will know, and I'm just going to try to voice what position I'm in. Right now, I'm in P20. Tried to qualify, went terribly. I think I crashed both laps. And we're off. Green, green, green. We're going. Please don't kill me, turn one. See how this goes. I won't be commentating over every little bit. There will be moments of silence. We'll also be skipping some content. I don't know if anyone else is like me. Going a little wide here because I thought I was going to hit him. I don't know if anyone else is like me where if they watch someone else in race, they'll watch the timeline and see if anyone's do it. There's like a big gap of nothing going on, and they'll just skip it. So what we're going to do is we'll either skip it all completely and go straight to the lap where action's taking place, or we'll just fast forward through it. Follow the BMW's line right in front of me. Thankfully, the Ferrari to my right also went wide, so it didn't cause any issues with me running into him. We're going to back off the BMW a little bit, give him some breathing room. Cold tires, don't want to push him too hard, but I do want to round this guy. I'm going to go a little bit wide here. Thought I'd get a better run up on that turn, but I didn't. I'm going to be still stuck behind him. I'm going to apologize pretty early here. I mumble a lot. I want to try my best not to, but it happens. Try not to rear end him. So far, so good. Cold tires, like I said earlier. Just take lap one easy if I can, but it doesn't appear that I'm doing so. This setup that I'm running is one that I made myself. It's not that great, especially on the straights. I think I might be getting that setup confused. This race was 4 weeks ago. I want to follow the white BMW through the inside, block the gray BMW from taking that spot. He loses it. Thought I was going to die there. He managed to get control of his car and pull off to the left side, which gave me the space to take it on the right. We're now crossing the finish line on lap 1. I am now in 13th place. Ferrari, red Ferrari, just completely wiped out. Took out, looks like he took out another BMW with him. Another wreck in front of us. Take it nice and easy. Another yellow Ferrari behind us. Past the BMW that I wanted to get around. Doing good so far. At this point, I was feeling pretty confident about this race. Thankfully, this Ferrari knows I'm going way faster, and he pulls off to the side as well. Avoid destruction on this turn, thankfully to him. So, at this point of the race, I was feeling pretty confident about how I was passing people, and just confident in general on this track. This is actually my first time racing Monza in iRacing. Not my first time on this track. Obviously, Monza is very popular in most sim racing games. I did a lot of Monza in Assetto Corsa It's actually where I started sim racing, was in Assetto Corsa. Great pass here on the BMW. He braked really early, so around him. It's one of my favorite passes. BMW spins out yet again. Or sorry, that Porsche, another Porsche spins out. I don't even know why I said yet again. But it was probably his first time he spun out. Whatever. Moving on. Try to catch up to this yellow, or oh my god, this white Ford GT. Holy crap. I think I'd be recording this in real time with the amount of mistakes that I keep making here. But I'm not. This is a replay. Just try to catch up to this guy. So as I was saying, I played a lot of Assetto Corsa prior to all of this. Monza was one of those tracks that I practiced on religiously. It felt like a decent track to understand a lot of straights. Try not to wreck against him. He braked pretty hard there. You can see that I had to push on the brakes a bit more. Even when he over braked, still ran into the dirt. So up to this point, pretty sure we're clear of the chaos of the first few laps. Tires are just now starting to warm up. You can see in the dash there, the tire pressure of all four of my tires is kind of how I tell the temperature. So we can see the red Ferrari is actually spun out for a second time, as far as we're aware that we've seen. The BMW in front lost some control. He probably had a mistake with that Ferrari. That's probably why I was able to catch up to him here. So we're going to pass Carlos if we can. Get that slipstream, or the slurp, like I like to call it. Take the inside. Hit that bump pretty hard. Still managed to pull it off. He might have backed off a little bit to get that to me, but I think it was a valid move. Slowed down a little bit more than I probably would have. Tires now just warmed up. When they're orange, once they're no longer orange on the tire pressure monitor, I pretty much just start slamming it. I do like to have my tire pressure around 23 on all four, but that's pretty fine the way it is. So we're going to end up skipping ahead here a little bit. We're just going to fast forward. Pretty clear sailing here for a couple laps. So we're just going to speed things up. If you want to skip ahead, go for it. Zoom, zoom. Turbo speed engaged. Sadly, everyone else is keeping up with me while I'm going in turbo here. What can you do? See the camera angle in the lower left-hand corner. Like this last segment of this track. That one right there, just horrible. Catching up to Michael and Jacob. Blue Porsche and a yellow Porsche. I really do like the Porsche. It handles turns a lot better than I feel like the BMW, but I think the BMW can handle the bumps of the turns a lot better. So in some of these turns, I feel like I can cut in a little bit more than they do. Or my setup just allows for it. I think I cut in way more than he did. He was avoiding the bumps when I was taking that bump on that last turn. You really want to avoid no matter what car you're probably in. Get that slipstream, go for the pass. He's gonna hold the inside. It looks like he's backing off just a tad. I don't realize it while I'm in the car, so I'm still holding the outside to give him space. At this point, I feel like I just realized I passed it somewhere in here. I'm trying to break the slipstream by going pretty far inside. Trying to try to do a little wiggle. I do very subtle wiggles to try to get people out, but I'm going to pull on the inside. Find on Monza, if you hold the inside on this chicane, that you're always going to come out ahead. I haven't seen a point yet where you hold the inside, you don't come out ahead. Successfully passed Jacob in the blue Porsche. Now I'm going to be looking for Michael in the yellow Porsche. take that turn pretty well. There's Ferrari spun out. Number 3. We've seen him spin out 3 times now. Take that really wide. I'm pretty sure I got an off track right there. I believe we're in slurp range. Catching up to him pretty quickly. If you haven't noticed, the strength of field of this race is probably lower than most of you are used to watching. Most of you probably watch 3 to 4K racers playing iRacing. I'm not that good, but I still feel like this strength of field does provide some good content to watch. For some reason, the yellow Porsche backed off. I went for the pass and completely binned it. The pressure was on. Anytime someone, this was like a running trend for me. Anytime someone lets me pass them like that, I usually will always eat it. And I'm not the only one. I've seen this happen multiple times to other people as well, where I've let them pass me. That's happened. But now I'm back behind Jacob in the blue Porsche. Yellow Porsche is still ahead of me. So just pass these guys. Now I got to work on trying to pass them again. So we were in 5th place, but now we're in 6th. Got to work our way back up again. Still pretty good considering that I started from P20. So even with these mistakes that I've made, I still feel pretty confident about where I'm at. Going for the pass on the blue Porsche again with one of my signature chicane cuts. Get a slow down penalty. Oh, F's in the chat. So I got to go on the inside here with the blue Porsche past me for what seems like 3rd time now that I've had one pass me. Took that turn too fast. You know, got to lose another position to the BMW Carlos. Possibly. I'm holding the inside again to probably do the same move that I did on him earlier. Slow down pretty heavily. Take a lot of curb. He's still staying with me. Have to take a lot of curb there, but I managed to pull out ahead. A very good job on Carlos holding his line, putting pressure on. I want to take on the inside here again, or at least kind of show him that I'm going to take the inside. Ferrari comes out of nowhere, and he is racing the other BMW. He is probably, I think, 2 laps down by now, and he is racing the BMW. Ridiculous. If you're behind, take the slipstream, perfectly fine. But don't impede with those people that are in front of you. You're just going to get blue flagged anyways. Look, he's going to try to take the inside here. And this is what gives me the advantage over the BMW. I don't have to worry about the BMW anymore because this Ferrari is pushing him back. But now I got to deal with this Ferrari because he's so pushy. He has no reason to be racing me at this point. And he flashes me. He flashes me to get around him. I'm not going to give it to him. He's going to have to fight for it. Because if he wants to race me, you're going to race me properly. And I don't want to get slowed down by you, but I actually said something in comms. It's like, dude, you don't need to race me. I'm not in your race. You're not in my race. Please back off. I think he did back off based off that, but it was hard to tell because he did take that turn a little bit fast, and I think he just had to slow down. So, I mean, he spun out 3 times up to this point. I don't want him taking me out. Yellow Porsche holds the inside. He's not going to let me by like he let me by earlier. He's actually going to hold his position. He already knows that I screwed up before. So he's like, oh, this guy isn't that much better than me. I'm going to hold my position, which is totally fine. I get it. But I'm going to take the inside this time. He's going to fight me for it. I back off a little bit, but he backs off even more. So he's going to try to cut back in, but I just got too much speed. We're in P5 at this point. Hopefully don't have to worry about the red Ferrari for much longer with them being behind the yellow Porsche. Want to have to take the inside. Yellow Porsche also goes for the inside. He's right beside me, so I have to abandon that. I thought I was going to be able to hold it, but he had the inside, so I have to go to the outside. Really close to touching. Like I said, you got the inside, you're just going to get in front, no matter what. Back to worrying about the red Ferrari yet again. Trying to get that slipstream, staying on his tail instead of taking me too far on the inside of the track. Might want to go for it. Nope, nope. I'm just showing him that I want to possibly do it. I want to screw up his line as much as I can by pressuring the inside. I may have compromised my line a little bit by doing so, but it's usually worth the risk for me to try to put pressure on to make them make the mistake. And if you didn't notice, the red Ferrari actually ate it right there. We're going to speed up. A lot of cat and mouse going on, no real action. We're just skip ahead. Make another pass on a back marker. Right here again, you saw that I was going to act like I was taking inside, but I just wasn't anywhere near him to take advantage of that. Coming out of turbo gear mode here. Hold the brakes a little too hard. I thought the yellow Porsche was going faster than he actually was. I ended up going too wide. And get passed by Carlos and Logan. See if I can wiggle something out and try to pass these guys. Passed Carlos 2 or 3 different times at this point, so I felt confident enough that I could. But I lost a lot of speed around that turn. It's probably my weakest turn. My second weakest turn was that guy there. My other one is the long turn before the straight. Logan doing kind of the same thing that I do, pressure on the inside, but don't actually take the inside. I think Carlos is holding back Logan here a little bit, which is allowing me to catch up. And just probably the slipstream as well does a lot to help as well. So take the inside, but I realize I'm already going faster than Carlos, and I decide to maybe just let these two fight it out. But Carlos was just going too slow, so I was like, okay, I want to go on the outside and follow Logan. Three car slipstream going. Train, choo-choo. Logan looking to hold the inside, but then backs off. Carlos decides to take it instead and just chokes. Logan also chokes a little bit. He says sorry here, but there was nothing he could do to really help that situation. Was totally fine. I accounted for that. Obviously, I have comms disabled in the replay, but it was a interesting back and forth between Logan and I for the duration of this race. Very good driver, but he has some flaws just like I do. Pass him, he gets pinched behind the yellow Porsche, which allows me to go forward past him, along with passing the yellow. It worked out pretty well right there. All I got to do is hold, and I feel like the Porsche just does better around turns. I think he does catch up to me on this S bend that's coming up here. We'll see. Again, taking advantage of the BMW's ability to hit those curbs easily. I think that's a weak point of the Porsche here. I want to avoid him getting the slipstream. There's not much I can do. I can wiggle like mad, but in the end, he's still going to get it, and I'll just end up compromising my speed. So I just accept the inevitable. Let him have it. I'm going to try to get some slipstream off of George if I can, but I'm just too far away. Logan's catching up pretty damn fast on me, so I'm going to move to the inside. But I think I believe he's too far. So I move back to the outside to get a proper line. Ferrari goes wide. I think I'm about to get murdered here. I don't. Logan and I also have another back and forth about how sketch that possibly could have been for both of us. Let's see, pass maybe just settling in till pit stop. This does have a mandatory, not a mandatory, but it's kind of a forced pit stop because they only give you enough fuel to make it through 3/4 of the race. Logan's coming up hard. I was going to hold the inside, but I backed off on holding the inside because we were just going so fast that I didn't want to risk taking the inside here. So stick with the outside. I'm better on that bend than he is. I feel like that's probably like my strongest point on this track is that S bend. I know there's people that are better than me, but in this race with these people, I do feel like I was hitting those turns fairly well and pretty consistent. This turn though was very hit and miss if I did it right or not. I still don't know if my lines are proper. But here's where I made another mistake, is that I let him go. I didn't want to race him. I didn't want to be slowed down by him. So I went into the pits. What I ended up doing was giving him free reign of like 3 or 4 laps and just being able to do what he wants unimpeded. And then I come out of the pits and I'm instantly put behind other people, and now I have to fight to get in front of these guys. So it was a poor decision on my part to do this. We exited the pits at P13, so we lost quite a few positions. Obviously, it's going to happen when you go into the pits, especially when you're as early as I was going in. We're going to go for the pass. Now I think I just do the fake out again. That's the running trend on this. I want him to know that I want past. So kind of doing these fake outs shows my intentions a little bit clearer to him. Although he's just as fast as I am in some of these turns. It really goes to show that where you qualify does matter a lot in a race, because even if you're in the back of the pack, you can still be a good racer. It's just you may have got boned by someone else hitting you, or any number of factors, really. Yellow Porsche going off. But I feel like I was definitely, again, S-bend, very strong coming out, going for the slipstream, but he backs off and lets me pass, which was kind of surprising. You could tell because I went really at the slipstream. He backed off the throttle so much. I was hoping these two guys in front of me were going to be pitting at this point, but that doesn't happen. I may have pitted really early. What I should have done was stayed in front of Logan for as long as I could until he actually possibly got in front of me. And then even if he got in front of me, just to keep going with him and have him pull me with the slipstream until as far as I could go. This was one of those mistakes that I wish I didn't make. Hindsight's 2020. I literally realized it as I was pulling into the pits. I was like, crap, I probably shouldn't have just gave him that. There was no one in front of us for quite a while. So he was just able to go as fast as he'd like without worrying about anything. And I'm constantly getting held up by other cars. And I getting held up by this Ford GT. I was trying to go for the pass on that turn, slammed on the throttle, and my back end just went out from under me. Thankfully, was able to recover it. And you can just see how quickly I caught back up to the Ford GT and how much he is actually slowing me down right now. Managed to miss a wreck. And that's the other thing, is when you get put back with these other cars, is you don't know their skill level too much. Sure, my relative can tell you so much, but there's all these accidents here. I managed to dodge this guy. However, the Ford GT does not. He actually spins out right there trying to avoid it. The car that was in the middle of the road, while I was able to go behind him, the car that was wrecked actually pulled forward and freaked the Ford GT because he went in front. I went behind and the Ford GT went in front. I go wide a little bit there. We're kind of skipping ahead because this is where a lot of people are hitting the pits. There's just a lot of dead space when people are going into the pits and trying to pass people. You can see I've actually caught back up to Logan on the relative top left. 5 seconds behind Logan, 3 seconds. I mean, there's certain points that I'm stronger at, but at this point, he's just so consistent. I'm not really able to successfully gain a whole lot of ground here. It's going to be like 3 seconds gap from here on out. And this is where I'm at right now is position 4. So he's 3. And I was hoping to possibly get podium past another wreck. That wasn't a major wreck, so we're just going to skip past that as well. There's just a lot of dead space going on here. If you guys want to skip ahead, go for it. I'm trying to help out by fast forwarding through what is meaningless content in my eyes. But this is the longest stretch that we have on the track. There's just nothing happening. It's a cat and mouse game. And we fast forwarded what 3-4 laps now, and I've still got that 3 second gap from Logan. I'm pulling away from Michael, but I'm just not catching up on Logan at all. This just keeps going. We got another minute and a half, 2 minutes of just skipping this. Red Ferrari yet again spun out. I think that was a red Ferrari, hopefully I'm not mistaken. You know, it's going by so fast, like even I missed it. This is going at 500% speed. The past skips that we've done are usually just 300% speed. But since this stretch is so long, I felt like 500% was pretty good. Still understandable to see what's going on. But I'm going to back up a little bit from what I was saying when I played that set of Forza. Before iRacing, there was a game that I played called R Factor 2. I did that for about 2 months. And I tried to do some leagues, but they were just always way faster than I was. So I came to iRacing because it had a proper iRating system that allowed me to play with people that are also in my skill class, which turned out to be very beneficial. I feel like I've gotten a lot better as a racer since when I was playing R Factor 2 instead of Forza. I've done Le Mans 24/7 recently, which I did that all in VR. I did about 4 hours in Le Mans, which was fun. So iRacing has definitely helped improve my sim racing abilities. And we're just showing that I followed a back marker's line and went a little wide. Nothing too major. I think I did take some car damage there. You can hear it when I hit the bump a little bit too much. That I think a little bit of my front end went bad. He realized that he was actually blocking me, but it wasn't like too bad. He's like, sorry. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. We're on the last few laps here. I felt like I was just going to follow him the rest of the race anyway. I wasn't worried about behind me catching up. Logan's already long gone. Well, it was nice of him to pull off to the side and let me by. We're going to fast forward a little bit more here. I think this is the final lap. We just gotta not mess up. What I always say is the final lap is usually the hardest. When I first started playing iRacing, the final lap was always the one that I would botch, or I would see the person in front of me botch. So I always try to take it a little bit more easier on the last lap if I can. I like this pass because of how close we were pretty close to hitting each other, and looks like he was already rear-ended, so it would have been no difference for him. But Logan is now 6 seconds ahead of me, and I got an 8-second gap behind me. Still P4. You can see I turned on the positions, top left-hand corner now. It's less spoilery now, the position is shown. But overall, I think this was a pretty good race. One of my first real races that I actually thought I did well in, considering all the mistakes that I made throughout. Hope you guys liked this video. If you do, please leave a comment below or subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next race. Thanks for watching.